Hey, Cowboys Nation. Welcome to your ultimate destination for all things Dallas Cowboys. From the latest news, game analyses, rumors to deep dives into player performances and strategies, we've got you covered. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a play. Let's dive into everything you need to know about America's team. Justin Simmons' arrival to the Dallas Cowboys has sent shock waves through the NFL community. And for fans of the team, it feels almost like a dream finally coming true after months of speculation and whispers circulating around league insiders and front offices alike. Because for weeks, the rumors have been growing louder and more persistent, suggesting that the Cowboys were not just casually interested, but aggressively pursuing the elite safety, whose reputation has been built on intelligence, versatility, and an uncanny ability to read offenses before they even execute their plans. And while some analysts had dismissed the possibility as overhyped or unlikely, given contract constraints and salary cap considerations, it now appears that Dallas has made a bold statement with a move that could redefine their defensive identity, signaling to rivals that they are no longer content with merely competing in the NFC East, but are intent on establishing a defensive unit capable of dominating the league. Because Simmons' presence alone changes the way quarterbacks must think in the pocket, and receivers must plan their routes. And the Cowboys coaching staff is reportedly ecstatic about the level of communication, leadership, and on-field awareness he brings to a group that has struggled to consistently make elite plays against top-tier competition, giving them a potential cornerstone around which to build a championship-caliber secondary. The buzz around AT&T Stadium has been electric since the official announcement, with fans immediately taking to social media to speculate on how Simmons will mesh with current personnel, particularly considering the dynamic mix of young talents and veteran presence that the Cowboys have painstakingly assembled over the last few seasons. Because integrating a player of Simmons' caliber is never just about plugging him into a position on the field, but about recalibrating the entire defensive scheme, adjusting coverage responsibilities, communication signals, and even the way certain packages are deployed on passing downs. And insiders hint that the coaching staff sees Simmons not only as a shutdown safety, but as a chess master capable of orchestrating adjustments in real time, making the back end of the defense smarter and more reactive, which in turn alleviates pressure on the front seven, allowing linebackers and edge rushers to play with more aggression and confidence, while opponents now must account for the possibility of interceptions, coverage traps, and disguised coverages that could turn routine plays into momentum-changing turnovers, creating a ripple effect that makes the Cowboys' defensive backfield one of the most feared in the entire league and a topic of constant discussion in locker rooms, sports media, and fan forums alike, as everyone attempts to predict the full impact Simmons' arrival will have on both short-term matchups and long-term strategic planning for Dallas. Rumors have been swirling for months about potential destinations for Simmons, with teams like the Broncos, Patriots, and Chiefs all mentioned as possible landing spots. And while the speculation created an almost feverish level of anticipation for NFL fans, none of the chatter could prepare anyone for the official confirmation that Simmons would choose the Cowboys, a decision that seems almost cinematic in its timing and implications, because the move not only elevates Dallas' defensive profile instantly, but also signals a shift in power dynamics within the NFC, challenging the traditional narratives that have often cast the Cowboys as a team relying more on offensive firepower than offensive dominance. And league insiders suggest that Simmons' influence goes beyond individual performance, potentially inspiring younger defensive backs, fostering accountability in the secondary, and creating a culture of elite-level preparation that can have cascading effects on team performance. Because when a player with his intelligence, film study habits, and instinctual playmaking ability enter the locker room, it forces everyone around him to elevate their game. And in Dallas, where expectations are sky high and media scrutiny is relentless, the addition of Simmons may finally provide the kind of transformational leadership that turns speculative chatter into championship contention discussions, igniting debates among pundits and analysts about how far the Cowboys can go with this upgraded defensive arsenal and whether Simmons' presence marks the start of a new defensive dynasty in Texas. Fans have already begun breaking down tape and imagining the possibilities, mapping out hypothetical coverages and defensive schemes that would allow Simmons to maximize his impact. And the excitement is palpable because this is not just about one star player joining a roster. but about the symbolic weight of adding a cerebral, versatile, and technically gifted safety to a secondary that has long sought a clear identity. And conversations online have exploded with projections, ranging from immediate interception leaders to game-changing situational performance on third downs and red zone scenarios as analysts speculate about how offensive coordinators will have to rethink their strategies to navigate a Dallas secondary now enhanced with elite anticipation and coverage versatility. And while every major signing comes with risk, insiders emphasize that Simmons has consistently demonstrated not only high performance, but also durability, professionalism, and leadership, qualities that make him a low-risk, high-reward addition, because beyond statistics and accolades, his intangible influence in the locker room could be just as significant as his on-field contributions, inspiring confidence and fostering trust in younger players, creating communication efficiency and ensuring the secondary operates as a cohesive, instinctively responsive unit, all of which contributes to the narrative that the Cowboys have not simply signed a player. They have orchestrated a move that may redefine their defensive legacy and generate speculation for years to come about how far this team can go with this newfound, elite-level talent. Speculation about contract terms, incentives, and future extensions has only fueled the fire as insiders hint at a deal structured not only to reward Simmons for past excellence, but to motivate continued elite performance and leadership contributions, creating layers of intrigue that keep fans, analysts, and rival teams engaged in endless discussions. Because in the modern NFL, contract structures often speak as loudly as on-field performance in shaping team culture and competitive dynamics. And in this case, the narrative of a team willing to invest in elite talent to immediately upgrade its competitive ceiling is clear, with Simmons' contract rumored to reflect both recognition of his value and faith in his capacity to transform the Cowboys' secondary while simultaneously signaling to the rest of the league that Dallas is serious about redefining its identity, pushing the boundaries of expectation and forcing opponents to reconsider not only matchups, but also strategic approaches for the next several seasons, creating a ripple of speculation, analysis, and debate across sports media, podcasts, and fan communities. Because in a league built on parity and marginal advantages, the addition of a player like Simmons, smart, instinctive, and proven at the highest levels, has implications far beyond stat sheet, influencing coaching philosophies, game day adjustments, and even broader organizational perception, which makes this signing feel like a pivot point in the Cowboys' ongoing quest to reclaim not just divisional dominance, but true championship legitimacy on a national stage. While some skeptics remain questioning whether one player can truly elevate an entire unit to elite status, the overwhelming sentiment among those closest to the situation is that Simmons' presence in Dallas will immediately alter opponents' offensive calculations and inspire a domino effect of improved play across the secondary, because football is as much about perception and psychological leverage as it is about raw talent. And adding a player who consistently disrupts timing, creates turnovers, and communicates effectively transforms a defense from a reactive system into a proactive, fear-inducing force. And the discussion swirling around the Cowboys' locker room suggests that teammates are already internalizing his approach, analyzing film with renewed intensity, and preparing to align their techniques and responsibilities around his strengths, creating an atmosphere in which both preparation and execution are elevated to new levels. And as pundits, fans, and insiders continue to digest the implications of this signing, it becomes increasingly clear that Dallas has orchestrated a strategic coup that could reshape the narrative surrounding the team for years. Because beyond the immediate talent upgrade, the psychological impact, leadership infusion, and potential cultural shift brought by Simmons might be just as significant as his on-field contributions, creating endless debate, speculation, and excitement about what the future holds for a Cowboys secondary, now primed to operate at elite levels against the league's best defenses. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. As well, the conversations about how Justin Simmons will fit into the Cowboys' defensive schemes have dominated sports media, with insider suggesting that his versatility allows for a range of creative adjustments that could make Dallas secondary almost impossible to predict. Because Simmons is not just a safety who excels in coverage, He is a cerebral playmaker who reads formations, anticipates quarterback decisions, and communicates those insights in real time, allowing quarterbacks and linebackers to operate with heightened awareness and strategic clarity. And this ripple effect could transform the entire defense into a cohesive instinctual unit, which is why the rumors about shifting coverage responsibilities, mixing man and zone schemes, and deploying him in hybrid roles are gaining traction among analysts, as they envision a secondary capable of neutralizing elite receivers while creating turnover opportunities. And fans are already imagining highlight reels filled with interceptions, forced fumbles, and critical red zone stops, sparking debates about whether Simmons' presence alone could elevate Dallas from a competitive contender to a defensive juggernaut, because the psychological impact on opposing offenses cannot be overstated, as quarterbacks will need to account for Simmons' anticipation and receivers must navigate his influence in every route concept, creating pressure that extends far beyond the immediate plays, which is why this signing is being discussed not just as a roster upgrade, but as a strategic masterstroke capable of reshaping the Cowboys' defensive identity and NFC perception in one bold move. Speculation about Simmons' leadership impact has been just as intense as discussions about his on-field contributions, with multiple sources suggesting that his arrival could alter the culture of the Cowboys' locker room, because elite players often bring more than physical talent. They bring mindset, discipline, and a standard of preparation that others feel compelled to match. And in Dallas, where expectations are enormous and scrutiny relentless, this could be the catalyst for a cultural shift that transforms the entire team, inspiring younger defensive backs to study film more meticulously, communicate more effectively on the field, and approach every game with the intensity of a playoff matchup, while veteran players may feel renewed motivation to maintain high standards, creating a feedback loop in which preparation, execution, and confidence rise together. And pundits have already begun projecting how Simmons' influence could extend beyond the secondary, potentially improving the performance of linebackers and even the front seven by allowing them to play more aggressively, knowing the back end is anchored by a cerebral, instinctive leader, because the mental and tactical impact of a player like Simmons is almost impossible to quantify. Yet insiders insist that his combination of skill, intelligence, and leadership is precisely what the Cowboys need to push their defense from competent to elite, fueling discussions about whether this signing represents a turning point in Dallas' pursuit of long-term NFC dominance and championship aspiration, creating endless speculation and excitement among fans and analysts alike. Debates have emerged around how Simmons' skill set might affect the Cowboys' draft and free agent strategies moving forward, because when a team secures a transformational player, it often allows coaches and front office personnel to reallocate resources, target complementary pieces, and refine long-term plans of the confidence that the foundational cornerstone is in place. And in Simmons' case, insiders suggest that his ability to anchor the secondary might influence which cornerbacks are prioritized, which linebackers are retained or developed, and even how defensive packages are designed for future seasons, while rumors swirl about potential adjustments to salary cap management, contract structuring, and player development programs to maximize the impact of his presence, creating layers of strategic speculation that extend well beyond the immediate season, because an elite safety with a combination of experience, intelligence, and leadership that Simmons brings can shape the trajectory of a franchise for years. And this is exactly what makes the Cowboys' acquisition so significant, as discussions among analysts now include not only immediate coverage advantages, but also future defensive identity, projected team cohesion, and sustained competitiveness within a league known for rapid changes and constant turnover. And fans are poring over every potential scenario, imagining how Simmons' influence might cascade through the roster, impact coaching decisions, and create the kind of dynamic, dominant secondary that becomes a cornerstone of championship contention, fueling a non-stop stream of speculation, excitement, and debate that shows no sign of slowing. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.